Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Adam Burke from BangTheBook.com coming to you with my Thursday 3-pack video here, my 3 favorite plays of the night for January 3rd. We got a lot of great stuff going on over at BangTheBook.com today. Had a lot of positive feedback from Kyle Hunter's new daily college basketball picks over there. Certainly helps when you go 4-0 right out of the gate. But 3 plays tonight in Kyle's article over at BangTheBook.com. Certainly encourage everybody to go and check that out. Daily NHL picks from Parker Michaels as well. Good NHL card here this evening. He's got 3 plays over there in his piece as well. So good opportunity to get some NHL betting insights from one of the experts in the business here in Parker Michaels. And then new NFL power ratings from Danny Vorgs have been posted over at BangTheBook.com as well. Very, very good read there. 57% on the season in both sides and totals. And then 56% lifetime for Danny over at BangTheBook.com. So you certainly want to make sure that you're checking that piece out on a weekly basis here throughout the playoffs. Catch today's edition of Bang the Book Radio. I spent an entire hour with Brad Powers, professional handicapper over at BradPowerSports.com. We talked about the national championship game as well as the 4 NFL playoff games here for this weekend. A very, very good segment there with Brad. You can find that on our YouTube page right here via Spreaker. You can find us on Spotify. Also, we've now been approved for iHeartRadio. So if you use iHeartRadio, you can find us there as well. All right, let's take a look at my Thursday 3-pack here. My 3 favorite plays of the day for January 3rd. We'll start in the NBA. Big-time game tonight, game 519, 520. The Toronto Raptors take on the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs in this game, a 1.5-point favorite. Total on the game, 217. I'll be looking to take the San Antonio Spurs minus 1.5 here in this evening's matchup. The Spurs coming off of a very, very good month of December. 11-5 straight up. 12-3-1 against the spread. And they've regained that home dominance that has been such a cornerstone of the Greg Popovich era there down in San Antonio. They're playing much, much better at home now. Now they're very firmly in the playoff picture, and a lot of positive vibes rolling down there in the Lone Star State. When you look at what San Antonio did in the month of December, they outscored the opposition by 10.3 points per game in their 16 games last month. Their defensive rating dropped by 2.4 points per 100 possessions overall. So getting much better on the defensive end of the floor, and their offense improving as well. They scored, I believe, about 115 points per game in the month of December. So Greg Popovich has this thing going in the right direction. Not really a big surprise, as he's one of the best coaches in NBA history. The big story tonight, obviously, the return of Kawhi Leonard to San Antonio. He will not get a favorable reception from the fans there in all likelihood. Obviously, him and Greg Popovich had some things as well. But I think the fact that Kyle Lowry is going to play tonight in all likelihood for Toronto is a little bit of a detriment to them. Kyle Lowry, very good friends with DeMar DeRozan, certainly misses his former teammate. He's been in and out of the lineup with a back problem here this season. But for Kyle Lowry, going tonight at less than 100%, he's going to have his regular usage rate in a game against arguably his best friend in DeRozan. I think that could hurt the Raptors a little bit here. But overall, the Raptors not playing particularly well. They were about a 500 team in the month of December. They dropped down by 12 points per game. They scored 117 points per game in October and November. Dropped down to 105 points per game for the month of December. Injuries certainly playing a role, but the fact that they're scoring less and turning the basketball over fewer times per their possessions, that's a bad sign for them. They're just not creating as many open shots, and they're not knocking them down. And again, the Lowry injury, a big factor there. So even if he plays tonight, not 100%. Spurs playing better at both ends of the floor. Give me San Antonio here tonight, minus the 1.5. We'll stay on the hardwood for the last 2 games, but transition over to the college basketball side of things now in the Thursday 3-pack. And we'll go to game 645, 646 in the Horizon League between Youngstown State and Green Bay. Of course, formerly known as Wisconsin Green Bay, dropped to Wisconsin. Now they're just the Green Bay Phoenix. They are a 12-point favorite in tonight's game. Total in the game, 163.5. Very, very big total. But Green Bay, a team here, 7-7 on the season, but they've played the 35th ranked schedule in the country, according to KenPom, and the 69th, nice, ranked schedule defensively so far this year. And tonight they draw a Youngstown State team that ranks 327th in adjusted defensive efficiency by KenPom, 321st by Bart Torvik. And Green Bay is a team that likes to run the floor. 8th in adjusted tempo for both KenPom and Bart Torvik. So what does that mean in tonight's game? It means that with more possessions in this game, Green Bay has an advantage over Youngstown State when they're on the offensive end of the floor in every single possession of this game. That's how a blowout happens. Youngstown State has played the 281st ranked schedule here and the 207th by adjusted offensive efficiency, and yet they still rank in the 320s in adjusted defensive efficiency. Very, very bad defense. Green Bay really stepping down in class here relative to the rest of their schedule. They played a tough defensive schedule. That's not the case here tonight. This is also the first home game for Green Bay against a Division I opponent since December 1st. They won that game at home over Belmont. I would expect Green Bay to be mobilized for a blowout here tonight. They are coming off of a win against Milwaukee, one of their rivals, but still, I think the fact the Phoenix are back at home playing against a horrific Youngstown State defense, they can go out there and cover this number of 12. Big number, obviously, but as I said, Green Bay with an advantage every possession down on the offensive end of the floor. So the Green Bay Phoenix minus 12. The second play here to go along with Spurs minus 1.5 in the Thursday 3-pack. Finally, we go out west to the Big Sky Conference here. If you watched Monday's video, this will not surprise you at all. If you watched yesterday's video, this also won't surprise you at all. Game 7-17, 7-18 in the Big Sky. Eastern Washington, 2.5-point favorite on the road, total of 139.5 against the Idaho Vandals. Eastern Washington on the year has played the 41st ranked schedule. They're off to a 3-10 start. Idaho has played the 299th ranked schedule. They are also 3-10. Idaho 339th in the country in terms of defensive efficiency. Eastern Washington has not been a great offensive team this year, but they're certainly stepping down in class. And also here, when you look at their strength of schedule, collectively the 29th ranked schedule in terms of opponents' adjusted offensive efficiency, the 54th ranked schedule in terms of adjusted defensive efficiency for opponents. Idaho nowhere near on that level again, 339th. Eastern Washington is a team that takes a lot of three-pointers, so they will be something of a high-variance team here over the course of the season. About 47% of their shots coming from beyond the three-point line on the year. But now that they're back in Big Sky play as opposed to traveling all over the country, getting those paycheck games and all that kind of thing, now they're playing in some more familiar shooting backdrops. I would expect their offense to benefit as a result of that. And certainly playing here against a bad defensive team in Idaho should help Eastern Washington. Also, Mason Peatling just came back 3 games ago. He's averaged 15 points per game for Eastern Washington. So another boost to the offense there to get him back, in the middle of December. So grades, injuries, all that type of thing. You're getting some teams that are getting some players back in the lineup now. Eastern Washington is one of them. Yes, this number's gone up from a pick'em to minus 2.5, but I still like Eastern Washington up into the minus 4 range. If this number keeps going that high, I wouldn't advise taking this play. But I do think Eastern Washington, with that difficult strength of schedule, with a bad defensive opponent here, is a pretty good look tonight in the Big Sky Conference minus 2.5. So the Thursday 3-pack plays for tonight. Spurs minus 1.5 over the Raptors. Green Bay minus 12 over Youngstown State. And then finally, Eastern Washington minus 2.5 against Idaho. I'll be back tomorrow with the Friday Football Frenzy video. Talk about the 4 NFL games for this weekend. And then also take a look at the National Championship game for Monday night. And maybe throw out a couple of player props as well. I'm Adam Burke from BangTheBook.com.